Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination thrive. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Woo-wee! Technically, for those of you who are going to say, I thought you weren't going to stream on Monday. It's not Monday. It is 51 minutes into Tuesday. So there, it's July 15th. This time next week, I will be going to sleep probably super early because I catch my early flight in San Diego Comic-Con because I will be there for 5 days covering everything from Aliens, Predator, Peacemaker, Marvel, DC, anything I can get my pop culture hands on to bring to you guys. And on that subject, if you would like to donate to our cause, tethered to the top of the chat is a donation link for send William to Comic-Con in style. Now, we've already met half of our goal, so we will be doing, I will schedule that. I got to get with Larry because Larry made that happen. I will schedule this awful movie that I had promised to watch if we reached 150 collectively in last night's show. We did, magically. So the other half of the 300 would have been Dumb and Dumber, which, as advertised, is quite possibly the dumbest movie ever made. It tells you the truth. It tells you what it is before you buy a ticket. And yes, so if we reach that total goal, which means 100 and I think 140 more, then we will watch Dumb and Dumber, and we will get those done before I head off to San Diego. Because once I hit to San Diego, which by the way, I'm still trying to reason with myself why I'm coming back to Vegas after those 5 days. But when I get to San Diego, I will need caffeine. When I get to San Diego, I'm going to need food. I need to be able to get to places. So, and this past week was obviously a big Superman week. And I would like to once again thank all of our sponsors for making that happen. Galaxy Theaters at the Boulevard Mall, DC Studios, Warner Brothers, Sister Kim's Kitchen, Get a Haircut, and Smoke Mart. Thank you guys. And like I said, I will be playing those commercials and stuff that I am waiting to get. Hello, how are you doing? My favorite kangaroo. What's going on, Chuck? I don't know what's I didn't watch Raw tonight. What is Seth's injury? Is he? Hold on, let's get this off the screen real quick. Yeah, what I know he injured his knee on the Saturday night's main event, but how bad is it? Because he still got the briefcase. And as far as like Braun Breaker getting his push, I don't know. I haven't watched the product. I watched it on Saturday night's main event, which was a complete waste of time. But I have not. I did not watch Raw tonight. And I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. I just don't jump out of my seat for the WWE product anymore. Yeah, if Brad were here, I'm pretty sure he would and be celebrating the 25th anniversary of another awful movie. But none of the scary movies, I don't care what Brad wants to stuff down your ear hole, none of those are as pathetic as Ace Ventura or Ace Ventura: Nature Calls or Dumb and Dumber. I don't see how he can justify watching those god awful movies and then have the audacity to make fun of any scary movie franchises. Because yeah, those movies are bad, but the ones that I'm on the hook for watching are just outright awful. There is no redeeming qualities in any of those movies. But the only redeeming quality of any of those movies is, like I said, we're raising funds. Seth landed bad and hurt his knee. He might be out. Oh wow! Did he tear his ECL or MCL or ACL? That's gonna suck because what are they gonna do with the briefcase? We're probably getting Mortal Kombat trailer on the week of Comic-Con. Yippee! I'm sorry, but that movie just didn't do anything for me. Didn't do anything for me. We're starting to build a little audience here at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, guys. You and Brad can watch that. I watched that last movie and it just wasn't anything good. Hard pass. I'm glad he gets to make his comedy, but I will not be seeing it. I think I just got burnt out of the whole Jim Carrey thing in the 90s, and it's been hard to revisit anything but Cable Guy. Cable Guy was kind of a dark comedy. It was buffoonery too, but it was a little bit more. There was issues there. Son off William just watched Superman 1978. I liked it better than 2025, but what's your current opinion of it? Superman 78 has a special place in my heart, but it doesn't age well. And as a grown man, it's hard for me to look back on it other than nostalgia. I actually think Superman 2 is better. I actually have the current Superman. I think what is it? I think I have it ranked number 3. I have Man of Steel number 1. I have Superman 2 number 2. And I think I have James Gunn's Superman number 3. And I think the original Superman is right after that. And then the Superman Returns. And then after that, I have the 2 bad ones, the really awful ones. And that's a Superman 3, Superman 4. Did he get the briefcase, though, or are they just going to give him a match? No, I have not. I haven't really done, like I said, I've been consumed by Superman and then Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four put another trailer out today or another clip where they were people are bitching and moaning about, oh, it's a spoiler. You spoiled the movie for me because you told me that Galactus wants Franklin Richards. And I'm like, apparently we don't know what the hell a spoiler is. I saw so many comments. Well, thanks for ruining the movie for me. Are you that fucking dumb? Do you actually think that's the whole premise of the movie? Did you ever ask yourself, I wonder why he wants him? I wonder how he gets him. There's a whole 2-hour movie. Spoilers. I'm like, come on. And if you had read the comics, which almost none of these people going into these movies have, you probably know why he wants Franklin Richards. And if my theory is right, then he's basically hunting himself. Hi, this is the first time I've done a late night stream, and Brad's actually been up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured. You've been doing these last like 3 Mondays in a row. I might, probably stay up and drop.
Time out, guys. Time out. This is not Monday. See, Brad went for it too. It's Tuesday, so I did not lie. This is Tuesday.
Well, it's technicality.
Oh, no, because all you mofos are further than me. Unless you're in Hawaii right now, then you're fine. I don't think I have. Hey, do we have any Hawaiian viewers in here? I know Chris Wong Swinson tunes in, but because Hawaii is 5 hours behind us, so that's the only time zone that I'm in the Pacific time zone. So everybody is ahead of me. You got Aussies in here. I got some Polish people in here. So yeah, I love the Truman Show. Let's see. Hello, yeah, Bell's here. Hi, Bell. Morning. It's not the evening. It's morning there. So enough. Let's see. My two of my kids. What kids you got? Hold on, I'm gonna mute you because apparently that sound's coming over too. So I'll mute you for a second. There you go. Two of my kids saw Superman tonight. I stayed home and told them to tell me thoughts. They both didn't like it. Yep, they're still my kids. How old are your kids though? If they're like in their 40s, they may not like it. Imagine Son of Truman like they did with other Curry movies. I mean, if they're gonna do a Son of, then let's do it with one of his good movies, I guess. I don't even know. There's a lot of people who saw Ace Ventura that tell me they haven't seen Son of Ace Ventura. So how good was that? I mean, not that I have any plans whatsoever of ever witnessing it. But how you doing, Azteca? What's going on? The current. Which one did you see? Because they released two clips. They released the one where Johnny's falling in love with Shelley Ball, which is hilarious. And then there's the one where they have the news conference because apparently, and then they show Galactus, but they only show the silhouette of his head and his eyes light up. Apparently, in the movie, when they go out to try to negotiate peace with Galactus. His price is he wants Franklin. Give me Franklin, and so they're either going to do something with the Earth X type situation to where he knows that this universe is going to collapse, and he knows that Franklin might be the key to any type of multiverse, or he's going to consume instead of consuming, the world's energy, he can consume Franklin because that's been in some other storylines as well. But it depends on what Matt Shakeman decided to do as far as how he adapted it. Because if we go with Earth X, then it would Galactus in that storyline is Franklin Richards. So if he knows what's coming and that universe is going to collapse, he's going to need to get him, at least Franklin Richards, out of that universe, or he's going to need to get the entire family out of that universe because he knows it's going to collapse and he has to exist in order to be able to save it. But yeah, the new one is what did I put it? Let me see this real quick because I know I woke up to this pretty late, and let's see, because there's like I said, the Johnny one was cool. Let's see, it should be the first clip. All right, here we go. Oh, this is from Marvel Entertainment. Okay, cool.
Could you
hold on. And we're going to go to music. Hate the sound thing here. All right. Man, StreamYard, too many steps, StreamYard, too many steps. 10 steps just to get something on the screen. All right, here we go.
Could you take us through how you defeated Galactus? How we did?
We didn't.
Not yet. Not yet, we didn't.
We attempted to negotiate, but Galactus, he asked too high a price.
Well, what does he want?
What did he ask?
He asked for our child.
Just answer this!
Are we safe?
Are we safe? I don't know.
All right.
Could you take us through how you defeated Galactus?
Hold on, because I want to show you, like, right there. Right there, you can sort of see the silhouette of his head barely, but you see his eyes light up. And then you see Silver Surfer is bright. You can kind of see Silver Surfer. And then there's another scene in there where Johnny's trying to talk to her, and she's just blowing him off. So hold on, let me see if I can find that one. I can't find that one, but there's one where he's on their way. She's leading him to Galactus, and Johnny's trying to hit on her, which is pure Johnny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Got the tickets for. I actually found. By the way, anybody that's telling you just based on San Diego alone, I'm just basing anybody that's telling you that Fantastic Four might not do well, man, I just purchased our tickets. And I had to go a couple of different theaters, and they're selling out because you see the little 4. and I bought the last 2 tickets in an 8 o'clock screening because originally we were going to end up having to go to an 8:45 screening, but I got us 6 seats to the 8 o'clock screening because both me and Rhea have panels that we're going to be reporting on. I'm going to be reporting on the Truman panel that starts at 5:30 to 6:30, might go a little bit longer, and then she's going to be doing the Red Sonja one. So we're going to convene, probably get something to eat, reserve seating, and then head down there. The funniest shit in the world, by the way. Remember how I said we were probably going to be getting a screening for Fantastic Four? Got it. Guess what day is on? It's Wednesday. I'm already going to be in San Diego. So my geeks here in Vegas, my lucky winners, are going to see the movie one full day before I do. Damn it.
So this Wednesday or next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh, if it was next Wednesday, I'd be down. They used to do that. They used to do the screenings a week in advance. Now, because of people piracy, spoilers, and all the other dumb shit, or review embargoes and stuff, they do it the Tuesday or Wednesday. In this case, dude, they must be really confident about this because they're doing it Wednesday. The movie's out 24 hours later. So I was hoping that they were going to do it on a Monday or Tuesday, but they are doing it on a Wednesday. And like I said, I'm already going to be. I leave for my flight leaves at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is unholy William hours, but it's for a good cause. So yeah. But I this is my most anticipated movie of the year. No, I don't. It's from Marvel Studios. They put this information out, which means they mean for you to have that information. And they generally don't put out information that is going to spoil their own movie. Other than that, if it was like a third party, like the shit with with the thing that we're going to be talking about sooner or later. Well, that somebody filming something in the middle.
Won't let me talk about it on here yet.
Well, yeah, because we don't want to do the foil hat shit.
Yeah.
But if it were like some film stuff, like somebody sitting in and then or a pre-screen, yeah, but they actually put that out. What I showed you, Marvel put that out. And to be honest with you, that's just a plot. That's a plot line. That's not a spoiler. If it's part of the plot like that, that's kind of obvious. And you see it in the trailer before the very first Fantastic Four trailer, the one we saw last year at Comic-Con. Galactus is literally looking for him. He sticks his head in the Baxter Building's window, and it's Herbie and the kid is there. So he's looking for Franklin. That's not a spoiler, but I mean, a spoiler is a spoiler. That's. I mean, I can't really, And like I said, I don't think Marvel Studios is going to put out something like that. That's really going to hurt their movie. Just me. Yeah, he's celebrating the 25th anniversary.
For X-Men, for the original X-Men.
No, it was a scary movie.
Oh well, that's nothing to celebrate. that should be a day of mourning.
Okay, well, yeah, they're your kids, but I was thinking they were in the demographic of like the crypto. Let's go see the fluffy dog demographic. Those are two of them. Those are adults. But yeah, I mean, so none of them 0 for 4. Damn. Yeah, the one where you negotiate with Galactus. Yeah. And like I said, we have yet to see Galactus's face. I mean, you see it real quick in that one where he peers into the window, and you see it on the popcorn bucket, which I have secured. By the way, see that thing where his eyes light up? The popcorn bucket's eyes light up like that too. That's an LED light. So, boy, I can't wait to get that in my grubby little hands. Let's see. What's the XP? What do you mean?
The XP on the screen, anyone on YouTube? Yeah, you got me on that.
I don't see it. I don't see it. So it might be on your screen. I just looked at our screen right now. I don't have an XP. Hey, listen, you're in the minority because I barely got seats. And granted, it's Comic-Con, but I think this movie is going to do well. I think this movie's going to do well. Ace Ventura Jr. has a blank critic rating.
So it's not even like it doesn't even have like an aggregate on Rotten Tomatoes, is what you're saying.
And a 32%. That why so high? I mean, I haven't seen it.
I mean, well, I mean, it's clear. I mean, it's definitely clearly inferior to its two phenomenal predecessors.
Which is inferior to
Which is the two comedy classics that is this undisputed scientifically.
And like I said, how you can mouth that nonsense and like I said, I'm not defending Scary Movie, but they're of the same ilk. They're all garbage. And you could defend one, but not the other, which is absolutely hilarious. By the way, guys, speaking of Scary Movie and just dumb movies outright, the link is at the top. We're closing in. We're closing in on Comic-Con. And I may go sleepless. So along with food and caffeine, I don't know if I'm going to do the energy drinks anymore, but I got to get some good walking shoes too, because we're going to be covering. The gas lamp is not that big, but there's so much. I just got an email with so much unofficial shit that's going to be happening. And it's like, I'm going to have to sit down with like a war board to map out. And then I'm going to have to get like a timer on my phone to let me know, okay, I have to leave here. And I'm being serious. I have to leave here to go to there. And I can only spend this much time here if I want to be able to cover everything that I want to cover. And some of that stuff runs like early into the next morning. And then we got to see what the Hall H situation is, because the Hall H situation without Marvel there to cap it is probably going to be less. So I need to know. And there's like, they have Alien, Predator Badlands is on Friday in Hall H. And I think Alien is somewhere around there, but they also have an off-site thing for Alien, the wreckage. So you can go visit the wreckage of the ship that lands on Earth. I'm damn sure going to be there.
Okay. And meanwhile, William just asked me how I can mouth the words of you speaking so highly
without playing a stupid
with Ace Ventura. It's like, how can I mouth it? Well, it's like, I mean, it's very easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. And if my computer would work with me, you could show me how.
Well, you're using a shitty computer with the sound, so you serves you right for stalling.
Yeah, here's how I can mouth it. Going over right here. Here's how I mouth it. See, he's grinning at that. What is stifling his laughter?
I know. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you. So hey, there's the Stream Elements link. Similar in the Comic-Con in style. I got, like I said, half of my funds are going to be buying Robert Burnett a good meal. And we also need to contribute to Brad's cognitive memory fund to tell him to switch to the other computer that doesn't have the what is that? Why did you switch to the other computer? Why don't you have both available to you? I don't understand this.
What's it?
You switch to the computer that's making the noise. Why don't you just have them both available?
Well,
to
like
you?
a lot of it. Well, I mean, also I need to get my Word set up on my new laptop too, and I was just getting some work done before we started. So,
but why don't you have them both available? Like, I have a laptop over here, and I have my desktop on my phone, and I have access to them both, because you can do that in the modern era.
But when I'm in the middle of doing something else, it's like, it's just more convenient. So,
but wouldn't it be convenient for you to have them both set up so that you could switch from one to the other?
Now you can't really see the setup of my desk, but it's like I got a lamp here, I got stuff behind. So it would be like perched like right next to my my PC right here. So it's like I wouldn't have it like actually like set up and ready to go. It's like I have to move my keyboard over, to the side here, when I set my laptop up to stream too.
My mom, who is decades older than the both of us, with a tiny little desk that we've had since we were a little kid, since me and my sister were kids, has 2 laptops and a desktop setup and a headset, Brad.
She has a bigger desk.
On a table the size of a postage stamp that I thought we threw away till I went home for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I thought we threw that away. But she's got like an entire NORAD missile launch command on this little ass desk. And I guarantee you, without seeing it, I don't think this thing looks like a stool, and she's got her setup on it. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't show you the setup of my desk, but I need to shuffle some things around if I was going to make that work.
Fourth, hey, tried watching Sinners. The fourth like Sinners. I can't never tell with him because he's weird. Fourth, tried watching Sinners. I don't know. I got a little bit bored doing. You know what? To each his own. I love that movie. I think that movie should be re-released for Oscar consideration. To be honest with you. Deep comic accuracy, aliens, the audience. Well, like I said, the audience is coming to see a movie. They may think that they know comic book lore, but like I said, you can quiz any one of them. They don't know anything. They know these characters in the periphery, and that's it. So literally, if you're going to see a movie and you're not a dork and comic book nerd like me, you're going to see a movie. So sometimes when you try to play inside baseball, people just don't understand because they're not used to that format. So yeah. I hear that about every movie ever released. I hear that about every movie with all these trailers I've pretty much seen in the movie. I've heard that from every movie ever released, and it's been bullshit every fucking time. Now, you may have seen, if it's a bad movie, you may have seen some of the best elements about the movie in the trailer, but as far as like seeing the whole movie,
And with the one William wants us to hold off on until it's like publicly released, it's well, we haven't like seen the whole thing, but I mean, it does. This was playing before Superman this week, and some of you may have already seen it, but we want to hold off on this one thing until it's like out on YouTube, basically.
I have standards for this show to where if you film some shit in a thing, that's cool for you to spread around, but to actually be a topic on the conversation. One of the reasons why I would rather wait is because I would rather have more context of it. I don't need to be first. I don't need to be, because like I said, we're not a news program. So when we have a conversation about this thing, it's going to be an in-depth conversation and it's going to have some bones on it. Otherwise, like I said, it's just going to be, it's easily dismissed. If a conversation is not framed in the right context, it's just noise. And I don't want us to be noise. And then, you have the different sides of our fandom that'll just muck up everything and waste our time with it. So we are going to cover it, but there are some things that we need to have in front of us before we do, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Wait, Galactus is an all-powerful being. Why does he need to see with his own eyes a little human? He should be able to detect him right away. Okay, this is just my guess. This is just my inner geek speaking. Once Franklin is either conceived or born, as a matter of fact, if you look at when Silver Surfer is there, she's still pregnant. So, and I think it's the conception of Franklin that alerts him because of the energy signature. It means he knows it's time to make this visit. If my theory, if my Earth X, not even a theory, if they have adapted Earth X to this, then he's going to be basically witnessing his own birth because Galactus is outside of time in that respect. He was at the beginning and at the end of the universe, and the universe will basically might either recycle itself or he can see into the future and past. So if he knows, if he knows that that's him, if he knows what's about to happen to this universe that they're in, because remember they have to escape that universe for some reason. He is probably going to be, that's probably his goal. So as far as him being able to detect him right away, I'm assuming that once Sue is pregnant, we're looking at the trailers. Remember, Silver Surfer visits her; she's pregnant, and when they negotiate with Galactus, as he gets closer, she's got the kid in her arms, and he looks to be about 3 or 4 months old. So we got some time here. Oh, you didn't like Sinners? Okay, wow. I think you're just doing that to trigger people. Hey, yeah, $80. Can't wait to have it in my hands. I got big hands. Let's see. Daniel Martin, William and Brad. Have you seen F1? I saw F1.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Best movie of the summer by far?
I don't know if I go that far.
So yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm not a big race car.
I mean, for me, it's Ballerina by far.
Yeah, I mean, the XP is fan listings. The more engaged you are. Oh yeah, those little crowns. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's on YouTube. We can't see that, but they can see it. That's what you're talking about. Yes, I am. We're just working on. In fact, you know what? I'm going to talk to Lloyd next week about the details about our screening here in Las Vegas. Because I'm going to be at the Toxic Avenger panel. And he's going to have Peter Dinklage is there, and all those guys are going to be there. So, man, these panels, and that's going to be a panel in Hall H. I just hope it's easy for me to get in there because there's a lot. Friday, Friday's a big day. There's not gonna be a lot of stuff we're gonna try to get done. I'm gonna be trying to get done interviews with people, and I would rather avoid waiting in a bunch of lines, but I'll do what I need to do. Let's see if our donations have moved. What do you think, Brad? Have they moved? Hold on. Like I said, we only need to do 140 more to justify Dumb and Dumber. The dumbest movies. Not, we are still at the same. I don't know if Larry's actually no, Larry and somebody else bought us home yesterday. So let's see. Yep, still the same. We got some time though. We got some time. Like I said, bad enough we're watching one of these stupid ass movies. But, let's see. Okay, making sure there. All right. But yes, I am ready for Toxic Avenger. I don't know what movie you saw, dude. That's Sinners for me is the best movie. Well, it's not even the summer; it was the spring. But so far, Sinners is the best movie of the year for me. Ballerina is right behind that, but Sinners, as far as high end quality stuff like that, it's to me. I think that should be re-released for Oscars. I guess there's two of you then. So I'm sorry. I love that movie. Well, the whole movie's a vampire. It's a vampire movie, but there's other elements to these tales. I mean, especially when you talk about the South. I mean, the South has a lot of Southern folklore, and you got European vampire. There's a lot of folklore that heavily relies on character development. But the vampires are there; they are a part of it. Sinners is an incredible movie. When Sammy pierced the veil with the blues, that's one of the most memorable. Yeah, and then, dude,
when they're he's talking about the part where they have like people from the future dancing
and the DJs and the metal players. That was cool. I'm sorry, but the more I watch this movie, because I watched it it's on HBO Max, the river dancing thing. I don't know what seeing that. I'm like. I'm listening, and there are people in theaters that were dancing in that shit on the second watch. I'm like, Negroes are river dancing. You've made a really good moment, a really good movie. You got black folks in the aisle river dancing, just like the people on that movie. Granted, they were under mind control of a vampire, but there's videos. If you YouTube, there's people doing the dance, and I'm like,
yeah. The only thing I've seen that's kind of comparable to that, I remember kind of when Straight Outta Compton came out, and there were people in my audience who were singing along to the lyrics of different NWA songs.
That's different though, because you got out of your seat to dance. You got overtaken by the moment, and like I said, it's such a cultural difference. You're talking about Irish river dancing and black folks and black and blues and jazz. Those it was weird in a horrific way. He brought those people together, but the audience is doing it and reacting to it was like, wow, that's just, you don't see that. You don't see that all the time. I thought that was pretty cool.
And when are we going to watch party of that, by the way?
Probably when I get back from Comic-Con. Okay. We got to get all the stupid ass movies out.
We got also all the stuff that's just an inch above Sinners.
I'm gonna let you roast.
We got to go with the main course, and then we have dessert afterwards.
You're gonna say that any of these garbage, trash ass movies are even in the same vicinity as Sinners. You should be vomiting in your own mouth on that one. Wait, was Clint Joseph Toxie one of those? No. There was a Toxie there. We'll have a Toxie for We'll have a Toxie for the August event too, or the September event, because it gets released in late August. So we just got to figure out when Lloyd's. Yeah, man, he was doing that dancing, and they were all. Remember Cornbread, half his face blown out. He seemed to be in it more than anybody else. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, hey, how do they know the words of the song? How do they know what they're doing? Why are they so happy? But then it was like he said, why are they so eager to pick poor Robin clean? What?
That's one of the songs of the movie.
Oh, but then you realize that once he takes them over, they all share the same memories. So his enthusiasm spread to them. They since he turned them. So I love that movie. Sinners really became a phenomenon. That's impossible. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, because that just doesn't happen a lot of time. You know what? I'm not even going to respond to you in the way you wanted me to, because that's a troll. That's a troll. Yeah, Cornbread was like, damn, he just had his face blown out and he was hop stepping and shit, and he didn't want the song to end. Oh, okay, yeah, that was one of the. But yeah, I mean, there's people. There's, like I said, go to YouTube and pick. It was a Rocky Road to Dublin. It was the song, and you see a whole bunch of people getting down to it, man. I'm like, damn. I liked it, but that's the kind of cultural movie it was. So yeah, I hope Sinners. I know it got released in April, whatever, and it's tough to get the Academy to watch the damn movies that they're supposed to be watching anyway, but to watch a movie from April, March, it just did. So I hope somebody puts the spotlight on that. I hope Warner Brothers puts it up for your consideration, because it's a really good movie. I think it was my favorite movie of the year. I think Ballerina is right behind. Oh, you know what? Thunderbolts. I absolutely love Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts for me is better than Superman. The way I left the theater after watching Thunderbolts was on a much higher and legitimate high than it was when I watched Superman. I mean, especially the Bob scene where Bob's beating the Void and they all embrace him. That was one of my favorite scenes in like comic book movies and period. So yeah. Sinners and 28 Years Later are my favorite films. I have not seen 28 Years Later. I know, Brad, you saw that, right?
Yep.
You saw 20? Yeah, because I skipped it. I honestly hate Sinners. That lame end fight with a bunch of old fat people hand in hand, combat vampires and survive because the action finale is so bad.
By the way, did you hear about that little bit of trivia where it's like some of the in like one of the multiple iterations of the Marvel Blade movie that some of like their costumes and sets and props like made it into Sinners,
because it was supposed to, the Blade movie was supposed to be,
it was going to be like in the 20s, yeah. So I get, like I said, this is kind of like a proxy Blade.
That sounds like a bad idea. Why would you be doing a period piece with Blade? I could see doing some period scenes with Blade, maybe, but a period piece. Some of me is grateful that got canned. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be going on, but like I said, Blade's a banned topic until the people who make Blade give us something to talk about, other than the dumb shit that we continue to bring up over and over again. Why don't they just use 9,000-year-old Wesley Snipes and make the next 3 Blade movies with him in it? Because what the fuck? Stop.
It would be, I mean, again, there's only one Blade. There's only going to be one Blade.
So what? That's all. Didn't need 2 of the 3 of those. Be honest with you. And guess what? I've gone without a Blade movie. When's the last one? Was it 2002, 2003? 23. 04. Oh wow, we've gone 21 fucking years without a Blade movie.
That's 20. That's 23 years too many.
Guess what? The world is still spinning on its axis.
It'd be spinning even better.
Still here.
It'd be spinning even better.
Nobody has given two flat fucks more in 24 years
with more Blade.
Yeah, sure.
It would be spinning much more efficiently, like it would be spinning much more efficiently with an Ace Ventura 3 added into that equation.
Then there'd be one.
The Jim Carrey, well, there apparently has been talks with Amazon.
They've been talks about that movie for like 11 years, as far as I know. So yeah, keep talking.
Yes, make it happen. Keep talking and make it happen.
Yeah, you know what? When something doesn't happen like this, everybody tells you we need this to happen. We fucking need it to happen. I'm telling you, you're gonna tell me that us bonehead geeks know more than a guy who's put together $31 billion in movies in 16 years?
He can't crack Blade, so it's like he's nobody bats a thousand.
He doesn't want.
Nobody bats a thousand. Nobody bats a thousand.
Hard for you? I think it's harder for you guys to accept that the guy who runs the show doesn't want this movie. I think that's what people really are in denial about. That the guy who's the only decision that matters, for whatever reason, he doesn't want it.
But it doesn't matter because I
too fucking
solved
bad.
The problem. I cracked this already on one of my Fortress articles.
There's levels to this thing.
I have shown Kevin Feige
is on one level and you are on another level.
When it comes to Blade, I am in the stratosphere. He is in Earth's core.
Whatever. There's a reason. Like I said,
do I have to
smart?
the article up?
No. No, because I'm gonna take
going
it right
to.
off the screen.
I'm going to.
I'll take it right off the screen.
Okay, I'll summarize it then. The raid with Blade, end credits scene.
Jesus
Nick
Christ.
Fury's there. We need you for Secret Wars. Done. There is literally
That is literally
no
your
possible way this doesn't work. Williams says, "No, it doesn't fit the MCU story. I just plugged it in. There you go. I just plugged it in right there. It's streamlined. It fits in there. It fits. It works. It's there. It's perfect.
Like
it's
shit.
standalone enough, and it fits. It's streamlined into it. There is
It
no
sounds
argument
like
to the contrary."
Hey, Kevin Feige, if you're ever watching his show, please mimic me and not taking him seriously. That storyline sounds like shit.
I'm going to. I'm
sounds
going to
like
email.
trash.
I'm going to get.
Yeah, go ahead, email. You're gonna get blocked.
I'm
Black
going
Panther
to
one was
like
pretty
get
good.
the Marvel Studios contact. I'm going to email this to Kevin Feige's office.
I think they all played. Yeah. See how that goes.
Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do it every day until I get a response.
Yeah, and restraining orders that you're going to get. I thought the entire movie was good. Killmonger was a credible enemy. I liked him, but Chadwick Boseman drives the movie. They both drive the movie. So without Killmonger, I mean, that's like saying The Dark Knight without the Joker. I mean, the Joker is that movie. He feeds off of his energy. But with Black Panther, I think it's even more so. It's more balanced.
Black Panther, I think, like between that and Infinity War with Thanos, that was kind of the point where, because one thing Marvel, it's kind of been pointed to as their Achilles heel is their villains are, kind of or up to that point anyway, they're kind of lackluster and cookie cutter. And it was with Killmonger and Thanos. That was when they collectively
Thanos was a horrible villain, by the way.
But the consensus at that point was, okay, it's like now we're getting like 3-dimensional memorable villains out of the MCU.
I don't know who was sensing that, because Thanos is not even a good one-dimensional character. He's horrible in that movie. Thunderbolts was marketed as a character drama when it's complete comedy. All right, Mighty Max, I have to ask you, did you see Thunderbolts? Did you see some of the things that they tackle in Thunderbolts? They tackle depression. They tackle drug addiction. They tackle suicidal tendencies. They tackle loneliness across the board. They could tackle loneliness. They tackle self-worth. They tackle self-reflection. We all have our different opinions on movies, but there were some comedic elements in there. But even when the Red Guardian, his scenes when he's talking to Florence Pugh's character, his scenes when she's going through her meltdown and he's trying to pick her up. I mean, those are. I don't know what movie you saw, man. There are some comedic elements in it. There are some people, and there are some well placed jokes, and it's funny. But I don't know if that they market it as a character drama, because that's what it is. It's great character development. That movie's one of my favorite comic book movies, period. And it just came out a few months ago because of how it tackles it, how it reflects. They took these throwaway characters and made them worth something because of what the things they're going to. I love Thunderbolts. Like I said, this is my favorite comic movie of the year so far. But I've only had to watch the one, so. I think it might get replaced here in about a week or so, but who knows? I still love Thunderbolts. I don't know how you saw a comedy there. There were jokes, but no, that was some really deep stuff. It's some really deep metaphors, but everybody's different. Okay, are we messing around? Well, all right. Now, I think now that Kevin Feige and Chapek is gone, Kevin Feige has more control. I don't think. I think what happened is Kevin Feige, when he came back and they reassessed what they wanted to do, Blade no longer fit in the immediate term. I think you're gonna get it, but I think it's gonna be where it fits in the story. And remember, when he came back and took over again, they blew up a whole bunch of stuff. They stopped making certain shows. They canceled certain. They renamed. They did a lot of different things because they didn't think they were where they needed to be. So I think Blade was just one of those things that they took off the table because it didn't fit what they had reshaped the MCU. That's all it is. And I mean, it's like I said, when you see him on the screen, it'll be worth the wait. I don't know what this stupid fucking obsession is with trying to force Blade into the ether. Don't you? If you watch these movies and you like quality, the very last thing, and we've seen movies forced into existence when they shouldn't have been. We've seen plenty of movies on both sides of these companies that have been forced out there. Do you really want to have?
I literally.
Do you hold on? Do you
solved
want
the problem.
For those of you who want a Blade movie? Do you want some forced shit just because you don't have patience,
No,
or do you want?
That's why I wrote this.
Okay, that is garbage. At least the idea is garbage, not the article. Just stop doing that.
Building vampires, chop outside.
I would not pay to see that.
Done deal.
Yeah, they're gonna escort you. But like I said, what
There
do you
is
want?
no
Period. Being serious. Being
possible
serious.
Way
Being serious. Hold
this
on.
doesn't work.
Being serious. Being serious.
I'm being dead serious.
You're not, because if do you want, when you finally see a character that you've been waiting for, just to be shuffled out there, just as fan service, or do you want the guy who's been doing this for a while to put it where it belongs in the story that he's telling? That's it.
And I put it where it belongs in a
and
building full
one
of
of the
vampires.
dumbest things.
And a
yeah.
building full of vampires, he chops them all up, and then
we're gonna move on, because technically, now how is Kevin Feige supposed to take this character seriously if you can't?
Here you go. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down the subheadings. Okay, he finds a vampire hired and he goes to work. Okay, and then he comes out and he meets Nick Fury to help in Secret Wars. All right. There, I just fit it into the MCU story, and I told a self-contained story with Blade.
I hope you don't. I hope you're not sensitive. In the miracle, you get past security and you present this, and you don't get your feelings hurt and demoralized when they throw you out of the building.
There is literally
of your
no way this doesn't work.
Yeah. By the way, like I said,
possible way.
It doesn't fit.
I just fit it. I fit it. There you go. I fit it. It's off in this corner, and then Nick Fury shows up. And then he's in Secret Wars. I disrupted nothing. I fit it in there.
You fit something. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is the cleanest shoehorning that it isn't a shoehorning that there has ever been.
It's stupid for stupid's sake. There's no reason. You never answered my question. Okay, you never answered my question. You're not writing the story. Let's at least concede that. You may think you're writing a story, but you're not. The guy who's writing the story, if he's not ready for it to be a part of the story,
because it's been about 10 of them,
doesn't matter. Kevin Feige is the boss. If Kevin Feige is not ready for this, what is your forget to stop the joke? So this
is joking. I'm dead serious. If the
boss, the one who matters, the one who
can't crack it after 6 years. So
okay, yeah, all right, never mind. So you're not going to answer my question. Yeah. All right.
If you can't crack it after 6 years, I mean that tells us at least you're not.
What is Kevin Feige? What has Kevin Feige been stopped from doing when he's been in control of the company? Okay, so let me know when you're ready to give me a serious answer to that question, because you don't have.
I am contacting Marvel Studios with that article every day until I get a response.
You don't have a serious response to this question.
If I wasn't serious about that, I wouldn't have written that article.
I still can't believe you wrote that article.
Again, it's the simplest thing. It's like building full of vampires, chops them up, walks out. Fury's there. Secret Wars. Okay, nothing disrupted.
I don't hate the character Blade.
Nothing disrupted at all.
I don't hate the character Blade. There's a difference between wanting something to be put in a story and some sloppy bullshit just because you guys can't wait. I might, if they put out the character and just throw him out there, and it ends up being like some of the other stuff that they've cocked that hadn't gonna. Is that gonna do the character any good? Are you gonna appreciate that? Hold on. You're on a fan's timeline. So you want him to put out some bullshit, and I'm not just talking to Brad. I'm just talking to people who are fucking obsessed with this. You want to put up some sloppy, rushed bullshit.
This would not be sloppy or rushed. It's self-contained. It
you want him
nothing.
To put out some sloppy bullshit.
It would
because
not be.
You can't wait.
The John Wick guy's on board for this, and
so you are more qualified. And I'm talking to the chat and anybody who's going to say you are more qualified for when a character makes his debut than Kevin Feige.
Again,
hold on. I want each and every one of you to fucking say that out loud. That you sitting at your computer, not at the top of a major studio. Hold on.
Nobody bats 1,000.
He's batting more than you.
I'm batting more than him on this one.
I want you all, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this 3 days from now, whether you're watching this next year, I want you to sit in front of the mirror or a reflection
I am batting more on
I want you to say
on Blade than
you are more qualified for when Blade is introduced into the MCU than Kevin Feige. And I
Well,
want you to
after 6
want
years
you to
ago,
hear
after 6 years ago and nowhere, I would say so.
I want you to record it to hear how fucking stupid you may sound to not me, but yourself.
Hold on. Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
So no, I don't hate the Blade, but I'm not doubting Kevin Feige at this point. When he gives us Blade, that's when Blade's supposed to be. I don't give two shits if you're waiting for 6 years. Guess what? You might wait for another 3 because the guy who's ran this show perfectly fine since 2008, it's his show. All right, fanboys, we have our place. It's at the box office. We either decide we want to go or we don't want to go. We are not in the filmmaking process. And stop thinking you are.
Hold on. Got my recorder on here.
Disney's the boss, but especially they're not Kevin Feige's their guy. If they're not going to, they tried that with Chapek and it was a disaster. They're not going to force something like that. And they don't even force them to use certain A-listers. They're definitely not going to press his hand for a Z-lister like Blade. Disney's the boss. Yeah. They don't cross Kevin Feige too many times.
Hold on.
I mean, Blade can't do much. You realize that you're making a fool out of yourself on a live stream, right? But that's fine.
I have a better idea, and I am more qualified than Kevin Feige is to plan how Blade would be integrated in the MCU, and my article on Fortress of Solitude shows how to do it. I sounded fantastic in that.
You sounded like a fucking bull.
Because I produced more results with that one feature there than he has in 6 years.
Unfortunately, you're not him, so what you produce doesn't really matter in regards to making these movies.
Produced more than he did. What has he given us for, again, 6 years circling the wagon on this?
Because it's not okay. It's a priority for you. So fucking what? It's not a priority for him. And
show me how this doesn't function.
Last I looked, his priorities might be a little bit more important than yours.
Building, vampires, Blade, chops them up, comes out. Nick Fury,
Blade
Secret
can't
Wars.
do much against Doom. Let's just wait for me. That's what I'm saying. Is that so hard? Is that so hard?
Building, vampires, chops them up, comes out. Fury, Secret Wars.
Whatever his reason is, Mighty Max, are his reasons. Whenever he gives it to us, that's when we get it. It's just that simple.
Building, vampires, chops them up, comes out. Fury, Secret Wars.
God.
You could write this on a
that show. That show, that was a Chapek. That show sucked. So you want Blade to be like Hawkeye? I hope not.
This would not be like Hawkeye.
No, but I'm answering this question. We had a regular ass dude in Hawkeye with no powers in Avengers stream. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought you were trying to justify making it out of nowhere. And like I said, they're gonna like.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I didn't like in actually Age of Ultron, where he does a little line where, with the kid, where he says the city's floating, and it's like and there's a robot that's going to destroy the world. I have a bow and arrow. It's like, that always annoys me in CBMs, like where like Taika Waititi or Joss Whedon, and even to some extent James Gunn will just like insert like a one liner about, hey, isn't this cool? Isn't this funny how stupid all this is? It's like, okay, if you can't take this seriously, why should I?
You're not the audience, apparently. But why is Feige God here? Because when it comes to Marvel Studios, he's God. When it comes to Marvel Studios, he's God. And the only people above him rarely intervene. And the one that did the most is gone.
Building, vampires.
Right. So from this point on, I'm going to answer your question.
Theory,
I'm going to ignore
Secret Wars.
Because what you're saying is it's sounding dumber as you recite.
Why
is Feige a God here, William? Because he is God. You put him on a pedestal. He's at the head of Marvel Studios. That's the highest pedestal. There is no that he's the guy. He's had some bombs. You realize mathematically how many bombs he would have to matter for it to register on the radar? Do you realize how much money this man has made? How much trust? He's literally the most successful. He's the most successful studio ahead in Hollywood history. $31+ billion. You would have to bomb for an entire year for it to matter.
I am severely tempted to pull the article up again.
I thought
I
I thought that was a spoof.
I mean, it
article,
might
though.
as well be a script with what I wrote, with what they've gotten for 6 years of this.
Why? Okay, here's the question: what makes you think in those 6 years that they have given a fuck about Blade in those?
They've
6
had
years?
like a revolving door of writers and directors. They've been trying
Okay,
to do
but
something clearly.
when you care about something, you make it happen.
Or
Everything else,
you
Kevin
drop the
Feige
ball in this.
or didn't want to hold it in the first place.
Which proves he's not batting 1,000.
Okay. What bottom line, guys? All this nonsense. We get it. No, because nobody's listening. We get it. We get Blade when Kevin Feige is ready to get Blade. And unless you, if you guys are smarter, hold on. If you guys are more talented and more capable than Kevin Feige, you don't need to be watching me on this live stream. And nobody on this live stream needs to be here. Then we need to be at Marvel Studios. But we're not. We're not. Brad is not at Marvel Studios. William is not at Marvel Studios. Nobody in the chat, nobody who's clamoring for this is at Marvel Studios.
And you know what would have happened?
Guess what? Marvel Studios is just doing fine without us.
And you know what would have happened if I was at Marvel Studios? Blade would have gotten made, and it would have been awesome, and it would have been that template I laid out.
Sure. It all depends. I think I think it's gonna be all about Secret Wars and Doomsday, but there'll be a lot of other things.
Brad, I think he means I know you really want Blade. Just hope Wesley Snipes is in Doomsday. He probably will be.
If he's in Doomsday, that means there's going to be Mahershala Ali will be there with him. If he's in Doomsday, Mahershala Ali will be there with him. I think that's what they're waiting for. Which is, to me, you do it one of two ways. I have my preference, but it's not my studio. I think the next Doctor Strange movie, he's a perfect fit for that. He literally. All Blade is, for those of you who don't know the history, and it seems like a lot of you don't, which is fine, he's a guest character who gets his own books every now and then it gets canceled. But he's a guest character, and he's a perfect guest character because he's that in-between character. The whole Montesi formula, the vampire wars with Dracula, he literally appears.
All of that.
He literally appears.
Vampires, Chop, Fury, Secret Wars.
He literally appears in Tomb of Dracula #10. He was there when Doctor Strange kills all the vampires. He's that type of character. And that's where he really needs to be bought in. You either bring him in Doomsday, where you have another, because you've already got the other Blade. But make no mistake, the next time you see Wesley Snipes' Blade, I guarantee you it's to kill him again.
Building, vampires, sword, fury, Secret Wars.
I don't hate Blade. I hate the stupid-ass conversation around Blade. I hate the fact that us fucking fanboys think that we know better than the greatest producer in Hollywood history. I hate the fact that we think that because we waited so long for something that it just needs to happen. Because we're so important in that process of the production process. Because when they're leveraging meetings and saying, you know what are we going to spend hundreds of millions? We're sitting in there, I guess, with them, right? Brad's at the head of the table. I'm sitting there. All the fanboys are sitting there leveraging, and they're reaching out in their pockets and they're pushing their money to the middle of the table. I guess we think we're part of the process. Our part of the process is at the end when the movie is made. All right, but as far as all this goes, we don't know why or when, but all I know is the only decision that matters about Blade is his. I don't hate Blade. This conversation around Blade has been so fucking dumb. It could make you hate Blade. If I were prone to hating Blade, the absolute dumb shit conversation around Blade would make me do it. But I don't hate the character. I hate the dumb conversation around it. As if this guy who's pulled in $31 billion, bombs or no bombs, he's had enough hits, doesn't know what he's doing. That we sitting in this chat and on this tiny little screen know more than that guy. Say that out loud and realize how silly. What you want and your desires is not running shit. There's a difference between running shit and you wanting shit. Learn that difference, please.
Building, vampires, sword, fury, Secret Wars.
Wesley Snipes, that first movie was epic. And you know what? Wesley Snipes in Deadpool and Wolverine was well placed. Wesley Snipes in a Doomsday or a Doctor Strange movie or a Secret Wars, well placed as you kill him and bring in the new Blade. However you do it. I hate Wesley Snipes. I hate some of the shit that he's done and how he's treated people. But as far as an actor, dude, you couldn't look anywhere without Wesley Snipes in the night. Wesley Snipes owned the 90s more than any other African-American actor I can think of, other than Denzel Washington. But Wesley Snipes is actually more prolific. I think he actually made more money and made more movies. from White Man Can't from Mobile from Jungle Fever all the way up. He was a A-list star. The only reason Blade got made was because Wesley Snipes wanted it made. If that was William Power or John Brown or any other, maybe a C-list actor, we're not talking about that. But it was because it was the it guy of the 90s. It got made. So I have all the respect in the world for Wesley Snipes. But that doesn't do fuck good for me in 2025. What the hell does that have to do with 2025? Nothing.
It will be an honor to bring Wesley Snipes back.
Your whole goal tonight is to irritate me with stupid shit. But that's fine.
Let's see what else is sun odds here. Daredevil. See, why I think of it more as Daredevil. You're talking about Born Again, right? Daredevil Part 2, Fantastic Four, Punisher, Brand New Day, Vision Quest, Doomsday. We're getting a whole meal now.
That's.
You were just talking about like all the upcoming Marvel stuff.
Daredevil season 2. I'm on the fence about. I enjoyed. I mean, I could. You know what? As I think about it, Born Again season 1 could have been a lot better. I think we discussed that as we were watching it. F4, obviously. Punisher, I'm definitely interested in.
Brand New Day.
I was, but I'm gonna have to see the movie because I waited years and years and years to get a Spider-Man movie, and now I'm getting Spider-Man and his cluttery friends. So I'm gonna have to see the movie. Doomsday is gonna be up there for me. We're getting a whole million now. Yeah, Daredevil season 2. I'm gonna have to see it. This may be where I leave the show. If I'm gonna watch it, we'll do our watch parties like we did on season 1. But if it goes in a certain direction, and I don't have any indication that it will, it could be measured, it could be fine. I'm gonna stop watching the show because there's just too many shows coming out in 2025 and 2026, 2027 to watch a show that I may not enjoy. I'm gonna wait though. I'm gonna give it a shot. Just because certain things have been announced and certain things that they might happen down the line, just like with Brand New Day. I don't see any reason to have. I mean, we got the Hulk in that movie. We got the Punisher, who I love, in that movie. It's just like, what the hell is Spider-Man? Are we going to take Spider-Man off the top building and just put him in?
And by the way,
Spider-Man. I mean,
speaking of Daredevil too, again, it's like another thing about that is, again, guys, when you're going to war with like a big crime boss who also happens to be the mayor of the city, and you need allies, you need an army. Who do you think provides logistically the best support for that? Is it homeless people, or is it super strength?
Translate this. And so Brad doesn't know what the fuck goes on in Daredevil.
Who logistically?
If you have the universal translator, what Brad is saying should be in your translator, as Brad does not know what the fuck is going on in Daredevil
victory in this upcoming military conflict, because that's basically what it is.
Brad is telling you right now in his own Brad knees that he has no deep, in-depth knowledge about Daredevil storytelling and what that may have meant, which is fine. Which is fine for Brad to be a surface-level Daredevil guy. But it sucks when somebody
would provide the best support in taking down Kingman, guys.
Who do you think is going to clutter the show? Listen, here's the
homeless people.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna do it. I've made up my mind that I'm not gonna go see things that I'm not gonna enjoy, and I'm not gonna watch things that I don't enjoy. I enjoyed Daredevil up to a point, but I got to the point in the original series to where it just got too cluttered. It got too cluttered, and it hurt the series. And I actually gave up on it for a little while. And I came back and watched the.
Yeah, just great. Like I would.
Sure. Great.
Take down Kingpin, one shot.
Okay. So we're not gonna. If I watch episode 1 or episode 2 and I feel myself going down that familiar road, we're gonna cancel the rest of the watch parties. Brad, if you want to do one on your own, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna go down the road that the original series did, and I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna be like fuck Daredevil, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna hate watch it. I'm not gonna talk about things I don't enjoy. And if that show does, and there's no indication that it will, but there's a potential of that show going down, you guys enjoy it, I'm going to turn it off. I'm backlogged on my streaming. There's no time or reason to watch something that's going to become, friends, basically friends of the MCU. And I don't need that. All right. Let's see.
I'm just thinking tactically here.
All right. I do wish sometimes I had a hardcore geek with me one time who appreciated these things.
Well, apparently I'm a hardcore strategist going into battle against like highly formidable.
I fought battles more. I don't know what strategy you're talking about, dude.
The Kingpin, the dude who can like crush dudes' skulls with one hand. It's like, who could really lend a hand when I'm a blind dude with radar vision?
Okay.
Going into that?
You fall in love, and to be honest with you, if they had been handled right, maybe I would have enjoyed those characters. But when you try to listen, if you have a 1 pound bag and you try to shove 5 pounds of shit in it, the bag's going to burst and it's going to ruin everything. In moderation, if they had done it in moderation, I would have had no problem. They did not do that in moderation. That season of Daredevil was really hard to get through because of them. I mean, we're getting a big meal without, like I was saying, we're fine. And if he shows up, when I see him, I'll know that Kevin Feige was ready for me to see him. I'm not going to second guess. I look like a fucking idiot trying to second guess Kevin Feige. How stupid do I look? I think I know better than Kevin Feige. That's not the right time, Kevin. We need to have it now, Kevin. I wish I could sound dumber. I wish I could make my voice sound dumber than I just did. Because that's how dumb I look.
Secret Wars. Bell Rev asks, do you think?
Oh,
well, let's read this one first. Well, let's read my Rex first. Born Again was decent considering the trouble. What? We mean trouble production?
Well, no, because remember they redid it. We were supposed to get.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I thought you were talking about like behind the scenes. Like,
and once again,
conflict or something.
That series started under Chapek, and when Kevin Feige, he re-envisioned the MCU, and that's what we got. I wish we would have got more episodes. And that's another thing. If you're going to have the clutter,
18 or something, wasn't it?
I was so thrilled. If you're going to put that many characters in Daredevil, and you only giving me 8, 9, 10 episodes, that's just not going to do it for me. If you're talking 18 episodes, now I can see that because now you got character development, and I don't lose the character development of my main character. I have time and minutes to develop these other things. But if you're going to give me 8, 9, and 10 episodes, get them the fuck off my screen. I literally only have like 48 minutes of the main title character. And that goes by fast. And when the show is good, that 40, you look at, oh, damn, this shit's over. And then all of a sudden the season's over. And I spent all this time on characters that, you know what, give them their own shows, do whatever, but don't do that again. And like I said, if I see Born Again going in that direction, because there's a lot of people who need to be in Born Again, and some people who don't need to be. Where the fuck is Foggy? Because I know he's alive. Where's Elektra? Because I know she's coming back. I mean, I need to certain kick. Dude, where's Typhoid Mary? And by the way, I know you're not watching the show, but in the case we break it big and you do watch the show before you finish production of Kevin and showrunner, if you do Typhoid Mary, consider that your alibi. Consider that your mulligan. Consider that your second chance to do something with a character that you did not do with Elektra, which is do it right. Because as much as I like that actress, the much of potential I think she could have played a great Elektra, I didn't see it in that series. I did not. That was one of the weaker elements. You look at her, you see Elektra, you listen to her voice, and then she starts all that whining, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're Elektra. You're stoic. You speak when it's necessary. You barely speak to Matt Murdock, and you're banging him. He has to chase you across rooftops to get a conversation to you. That was not Elektra. I don't know what that was. But if you do Typhoid Mary, that's your second shot. Unless you're going to retcon that Elektra. I don't think you're going to. But if you get Typhoid Mary in there, that's your second shot at doing a character like that right. Please don't fuck that up. Please don't fuck that up. All right, what was like I said, if season 2 goes down that road, then it can be better in someone else's eyes. I'm just not going to waste the time on it. Do you think F4 would do better than? Yes, I do. And like I said, I don't. That's another unfair thing. I mean, I actually think that if Superman starts to top out, people coming to the theater for double views may go see Superman if they're right there. You know what I mean? So I actually think it might help. But as far as it doing better, I think Fantastic Four is a legitimate blockbuster. I think Fantastic Four is a legitimate A-list blockbuster. You'll hear people tell you, "Oh, I don't know who the Fantastic Four are. They're not A-listers." That's fine. In your world, they may not be, but even if I conceded to you that, and I'm not, that Fantastic Four is not A-listers, Marvel Studios is treating them like they are, and they have the effect of making, when they put that importance on these things, people gravitate to them. This isn't the Marvels. All right, this is a Fantastic Four, and you can clearly tell how they are treating their prospective movies. So I think Fantastic Four is going to be a legit. And I'm seeing the tickets, dude. Like I said, there's like 6 theaters in the surrounding downtown San Diego area, and they're all selling out. Forget about the 6:30 screening, that's gone. The 12 p.m. screening that they were hosting, that's gone. The 8 p.m. one, I found 2 seats. It looked like, and I refreshed the screen to get those seats, and I got those seats. And the other ones, you're sitting up on the screen, looking at Galactus like this. And even those, people will fill those up. So I think it's going to do way better opening it. But see, I don't think that's a fair comparison because you're talking about a brand in DC that's done damage to themselves for 8 years. And that, like I said, the last Superman proper movie you saw with him at the headline was, actually, it's a bad movie. It's Justice League. So so you have that, and then you have them in a cameo. So you really have treated your A-listers like shit the last 8 years, and now you want people to come back in droves. It's not going to happen. It's going to take some time. Whereas the MCU, even with their misses, is a proven product. And I will wait. I will hold my breath. I mean, I'm waiting for people to tell me when. And no one can ever. And this question, I've had this question on the board for a year. When is the last time the MCU, Disney Studios, and Marvel Studios failed with an A-lister? Not whether the movie
Love and Thunder.
No, well, that's a different question. I didn't ask when's the last time an A-list movie sucked. That's Thor: Love and Thunder.
And it's like I guarantee you put Thor 5 out tomorrow, that underperforms Love and Thunder by at least 300 million.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. I guarantee.
Please don't bet. Please don't bet anything you need. Especially, you don't know what context that they would put Love and Thunder. It could still suck if you put Love and Thunder in. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you one character in there that would make it 700+ million, regardless of how fucking dumb the movie is. And it's a Thor movie, so it could be. If Victor Von Doom, Robert Downey Jr. is in Thor, what let's call it?
No chance in hell.
Yep.
No, you put Thor 5 out. I don't care if you got Downey in it. That thing tanks.
It's you're dude. Aim the camera down. I need to see the pile of yayo you're sniffing. You're out of your mind. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be as good as any of them, but it's going to make its money.
Thor, it's like I
so anyway,
telling you,
all right.
He's in Vegas. We could Vegas bet this. It's like Thor.
Yeah,
5.
no, I can't. I can't. I don't steal from people. I don't steal from people, and making that bet with you would really just be stealing from you.
Yeah,
let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic.
If Thor 5, you put I don't care Downey. It's Tom Holland. That thing underperforms.
Now you're
300 million minimum.
Brad's goofy lunacy aside, we're being serious here. When it's come to their A-listers, regardless of whether I like the movies or not, they don't fail. They don't fail. When it comes to the mid-rangers, when it comes to the less, or when they're not encompassed into an overarching story, like Infinity Saga, that's when they kind of tail up. But when it's an A-lister, they don't fail. So I think that Fantastic Four is going to be a legit blockbuster. I don't know if it's going to be Minecraft or Lilo and Stitch levels. I think it's going to be better than Superman, because Superman is a damaged franchise that you're trying to rebuild with a character that is split down the middle. When it comes to most A-listers, the Marvel guys go all in. So I think I don't know what the box office number is going to be. I think it's going to be more than 200 million. No, I think it's going to be more than 225 million easily.
Aaron, you think they'll bring back the Defenders? Well, they've already brought back Jessica Jones, and he's not a Defender, but they brought back the Punisher. So yeah, the writing's on the wall.
As a unit, I can't answer that question. The only way I'll answer that question is when you see our streams not happening with that show. If they bring back the Defenders,
our streams,
that show,
Aaron and I are going to be all over this.
Yeah, that's fine. You just listen. You guys can have the channel for that hour. I'm just not going to sit through that again. I sat through that last time and I waited, not knowing if I would ever get a chance to see a better ending to Daredevil. And I have another chance at that. And now here we are possibly doing the same shit that turned me off about the first one. And I don't have any dislike for any of those characters. They just don't fit in the story that way. You only have so much time to tell a story on a streaming show, and you have a total of 8 hours, depending on how many episodes is Born Again season 2. It's
Probably
8 episodes.
Eight episodes where the Kingpin is a threat that he needs help taking down, and therefore they would be of utmost assistance.
We've been telling Daredevil Kingpin stories since 1981 when Frank Miller took over. I can name you maybe 2 times when he needed help,
And this is one of them.
I'm having a serious conversation. I don't know what you're doing. The character dynamic doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work anywhere. When any platform that Daredevil is ever been on, the story starts to suffer the more people that are in the story. Because of the dynamic that Daredevil has with whoever he's facing. The solitary nature of Daredevil is the major strength of Daredevil, whether it's in a.
Do you want to be solitary? Do you want to take down the bad guy?
I'm ignoring you. The strength of his character, whether it be Frank Miller, or Darcy, any of the people, Bendis, the solitary, he has people around him, but they are the close-knit people that are part of the story. When you start bringing in all these other people, it hurts the story. It really hurts the story. And like I said, I watched those last season and a half.
See, Braden's like there. Yeah, she is confirmed to be in it.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Her being in it or her and the rest of the Scooby gang being in it to the point where they're a detriment to the story. If they're in it for like a couple minutes, if they get one episode,
they're in it for the final fight to take down the Kingpin.
Okay, but if they're littered throughout the story, I'm just not gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna watch it. I can watch Andor over again. I can watch Punisher seasons 1 and 2 over again. I'm not gonna waste my time. In fact, I've wasted too much time on it now. But we haven't had that problem. If it starts to get, when my superheroes, the ones who rely on the solitary nature of their being as a strength of their story, when it becomes the Scooby-Doo gang and all I'm missing is the Mystery Machine, I'm just gonna tune out. I'm not gonna give it a bad rating. I'm not gonna do a hate stream. I'm just gonna tune out. I'm not. It's not my thing. If you and Aaron and people in the chat want to watch it, have at it. It's not like if I don't have that show, I don't have anything to watch. I'm backed up as it is. How you doing, Joga? What's going on? 2 Aussies in the room. I need advice. Listen, I don't revive Foggy. He's dead.
I remember we were doing the watch parties when they were in that one part where they're in the evidence locker. It's like, oh, I'm sure he's walking through that door.
I thought they were going to do it then. He's not dead. Electra was great already. She doesn't need to be a mindless assassin. No, I no. What did I say? Mindless, Joga? Stoic assassin. Not. What was that? Nobody. What was that in that show? Because that was not good. She's not a mindless assassin. She's a heartless assassin. Electra's cold-blooded. And that series did her wrong. Go read Daredevil 181. Remember before Bullseye kills her, what she was about to do? Do you remember what she was about to do? Who she was about to kill? When Bullseye rolls up on her? She's gonna kill Foggy. Someone she knows is Matt Murdock, whose identity she knows is best friend. The good chance if Bullseye doesn't show up, she skewers him. She's cold-blooded. Even with that's why it wasn't working. That's why they fucked a lot in that show. Not in the show and in the comics. Frank Miller could get away with that. But it was a cold relationship. And in many ways, Matt was okay with that because if she had feeling, then he would feel responsible. He would feel committed to that relationship. But it was nothing. It was just a cold, he fell in love with a statue. And she was cold. Now, they've added character to her now in her later years, but even still, she's cold. She's a cold-blooded killer. She's a cold-blooded killer, not some whiny, Batman, I can't believe we're going to do it. We're going to stop it. So if you do Typhoid Mary, and that's another Kingpin, because that's his wife, and she is, when I first saw Typhoid Mary, I'm like, okay, here's an Electric clone. Here's John Romita Jr. and Anna Nocenti running out of ideas. You just give me another female assassin. Oh, where have I seen that before? Until I read their comics she's in. Until I read the dynamics, because she was falling in love with Daredevil while she's married to the Kingpin. So, and the Kingpin, and she's got split personalities that got all these different abilities. She's a brilliant character I would love to see on screen. But I need different writers, or I need a different appreciation, because I can't have another Alexa. I mean, I don't think either. I don't think we've run our mouths for damn near a year about Superman. It's going to be hard to forget that, even if you wanted to. And I don't think, I mean, does anybody really forget the average Marvel movies? They seem to be doing well on any platform they're on. Yeah. And as good as intense as it was, it's much more tragic in the comic book. There's a lot more weight to the story. They gave you a lot of weight to that story. But there's a lot more to Hector than you had time to do him in that show. So I thought they did a good enough job. And then that scene when he kills him, I'm like, or he gets killed, was like, because that's not how it happens in the comic, but that way that they did it was like, oh fuck. I remember watching that. I'm like, oh fuck. You know, that was one of those oh fuck movies. The general audience, no FFO more Superman. What are you smoking, William? There's lighter stuff than you're smoking, Bane. What have I always said? Do you guys listen to me? You realize the stuff I say is on YouTube, and you can rewind it. But anyway, I'll explain it to you again, Bane. General audience knows FF more than knows Superman. What are you smoking, William? No, Superman, even though it's not the most engaging superhero in the world, along with Batman and Spider-Man, are probably the three most famous characters in the world by far, by a million miles. That's not what I said. What is going to be more favorable to the general audience when it comes to Fantastic Four is the credibility of Marvel Studios and how they've done A-list movies versus the credibility of DC. That tells you how fucked up DC was. That the gold standard of superheroes, the very first, the oldest superhero in the world, was to a point where you had to rehabilitate him because of 7 years of fuckery. That tells you how badly it was managed. So yeah, face value, everybody knows who Superman is. Everybody knows who Superman is. But that didn't that didn't mean everybody's going to drop what they're doing to go see him. And everybody doesn't have to know who the Fantastic Four are. Many of them do, most of them do, but they know what the MCU is. They know how they feel when they go to, they know when the MCU puts on a big event movie, not the Marvels, that they know how they felt last time that happened. And they're waiting to feel that again. So we're not talking about four characters that everybody knows, but let's bend to your argument there. Let's say if only half the world, a quarter of the world knows who they are. Marvel's made enough money with each and every one of these characters that the crowd knows who Marvel is. It's just like when the MCU came out, people were like, well, Iron Man's a B-lister. Get the fuck out of here with that. He's not. But let's go ahead and concede that, okay, say Marvel's Iron Man's a B-lister. He's not, but okay. By the time you got to the first minute of an MCU movie, most of those people who become Marvel Studios had built the credibility of that Marvel brand through X-Men, through Spider-Man. So in other movies, but you knew that, even though that the audience didn't know we didn't even know what the MCU was at that point in time, but as soon as you saw that Marvel logo up on the screen, you knew you were in for something good. And they kept that. You can have, you may not like some of the A-list movies. Age of Ultron, don't like it. $1 billion movie. But, and you may not like some of the Fox movies, Spider-Man 3 or Sony movies, but people weren't distinguishing like that. They saw that Marvel brand, and when Iron Man came up, they were primed and ready. So all that credibility versus what DC's been doing. That answers your question right there. DC took the world's oldest superhero who was on a roll, and they literally put him in a trunk and pushed him into the lake. Yeah, in a proper world, Superman, you'd be talking about a $300-400 million opening, 300 million, global or whatever, domestic, whatever. They would have broke real records. But because DC is looked at as an injured brand right now, people just aren't going to peel away their money quicker. Marvel's proven it. So sorry. Brand New Day is not a comic book, so Braden. Brand New Day is a movie. The fact that he appears in Amazing Spider-Man 129 is absolutely irrelevant to how he would play out in a movie. A comic book is a comic book. I read a lot of them. A movie is a movie. I've seen a lot of them. They are not the same. And it's up to screenwriters and creatives to make sure that they flow, because at the end of the day, I'm paying for a movie. I'm paying for a movie. And there are different rules. Just because he appears in the comic, there are plenty of characters that have appeared in other people's comics that never make the light of day, in the comics that they appear in when you adapt into the movie. That's not relevant as to whether he should be in this movie or not, especially when you have the Hulk in there already. Who else is going to be in this movie? I waited all these years to get a Spider-Man movie, to see Tom Holland shine in a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man movie. I already got 2 people in there that are not Spider-Man. And I know I'm going to get Strange is on his way. And at the end of the day, am I going to have to, like I said, is it going to be the Hulk, Punisher, and everybody else in the MCU? Oh, well, maybe we'll give you an end credit screen with Spider-Man. So no, the fact that he was introduced, I know exactly when he came in. But even after he appeared in 1974, he barely appears that much in those comics over the next 10 years. He really doesn't start getting his Punisher reached his height when Frank Miller brought him into the fold. Look up the story Child's Play. Child's Play led directly to the Punisher miniseries by Mike Zeck. Mike Zeck's the success of the Mike Zeck series led to Klaus Janson and Larry Hama's ongoing series. That led to Jim Lee and Punisher War Journal, and so on. None of that has to do with Spider-Man. Yeah, he appeared first, just like the Kingpin. Thanks to Frank Miller, the Kingpin's most effective pages have been in Daredevil. He's been written to where people who are not even Frank Miller, when they write Kingpin and he's talking to somebody who his arch villain is, Kingpin appeared in what, Amazing Spider-Man 49, 50? He's not talking about Spider-Man. He's talking about Matt Murdock. He has fucked up his entire empire to go after Matt Murdock, not Spider-Man. So yeah, great. He appeared there. That's not relevant to the actual how the story's going to roll out. And even still, okay, if it were just Punisher, I'd be like, all right. And by the way, as much as I love John Bernthal as Punisher, Spider-Man's the demographic to where, I don't know, Punisher, let's just say, is not a sanitized character. It is impossible for that man to talk without cussing. Everything that man does is violence personified. Is the Spider-Man audience going to be okay with that? Or are we going to water down the Punisher? See, that's another thing. I don't want to see Punisher light. All right. When Punisher's killing people on his shows and on Daredevil, it brings me great glee. How that motherfucker kills people. If you're not going to give me that, so we're going to have him not killing or doing the whole Venom thing where he decapitates somebody off screen, and we're going to have him not using the Frank Castle tongue. Oh man, do we really want that? It's going to be tricky.
Yes, he could, Aaron. That not only could he, I think it's all but certain he will, alongside Luke Cage.
But the question is, did they learn their lesson?
For season 1, well, I mean, on the basis of season 2.
No. I'm talking about the original series. They've had enough time. Here's the thing. As much as anybody loves the Netflix show, this isn't Netflix. And we've advanced in storytelling since when these guys cluttered my screen the first time. All right, we don't need to be going backwards. We're either going forwards or you're going to lose me. and you guys can go ahead and watch that show. All right, I'll let you. She had a story. It wasn't good, and it was rushed. They jammed too many elements into her arc. Too many elements. Too many good elements that spread out over time. But they just gave you a composite. Ooh, I read a couple issues. Just like you did in whole comic, people still label him as an X-Men character. Yeah, he's actually, you know what? And when he was in that comic book in Hulk 181, he wasn't in that comic book again till Hulk 340. He battles Wendigo in the 70s, and he doesn't come back to that comic until 88. That famous cover where it's Wolverine's claws and the Gray Hulk is. I love that. That's a Todd McFarlane. Boy, I wish I could afford to get that signed. Yeah, and like I said, now we're bleeding characters that are designed after his version of the character, and we're going to put him in front of Spider-Man. What's the rating going to be on? They can't go. They're not going to make an R-rated Spider-Man movie, so that means we're going to make a PG-13 Frank Castle. Do I want that? That's like me liking Coke, and then I'm not gonna settle for Coke Zero. Not gonna settle for Coke Zero. I want my Coke. Do I want Punisher Zero? If you love Punisher, I love that character. Do you really want to see a refined version of him? I mean, how does that work? He's just gonna punch people? He either shoots, stabs, impales, or all the above. At close ranges. Cussing and killing maybe in the same frame. What is he going to be doing in this show? Hey, mother flubber. Fudge you. How we're going to be doing? Hey, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to freaking break your neck. I'm going to stranglehold you and knock you out. Is that what we want? I don't know about that, man. I think if you generally have a mutual love for John Barenthal's by putting him in a PG-13, man, no, don't do it. But they're gonna do it. There you go. Hi, Rhea. We got our tickets, Rhea. We got our tickets. I sent you a text. We got our tickets. It wasn't easy though. It wasn't easy. Fantastic Four. For those of you who are not watching saying Fantastic Four, listen. I wish there were a few more of you in San Diego that made me get tickets easier. But yeah, we got an 8:00 screening, Ray. Woohoo! Yeah, but on Frank Castle's level, yeah, they were pretty grossy when they killed the when they crushed people's heads and stuff. Yeah. But there are moments, and the Scarlet Witch is pretty gory. It's a Sam Raimi movie. There are moments in Multiverse of Madness that are disturbing. Frank Castle
like
is
a black bolt, like brain explodes.
By the way, you can't kill Black Bolt that way, but I got your whatever. And turning and what's her face getting dissected by her own shield, but even then they didn't show it. They just implied it. We don't imply when it comes to the Punisher. We do when it comes to the Punisher. He doesn't imply kill you. He shoots you. He doesn't imply cut your throat. He cuts your throat and the blood splatters. I mean, if there's a room of people that need to die, you get to see each and every one of those motherfuckers die. We doing that in Spider-Man? There's a difference between having some borderline disturbing elements and with Wanda coming through the mirror and some of the things she did. Got it, understood. And they got a PG-13 on that one. Or was that an R? That was PG-13. Punisher's on a different level, man. Unless we're just going to have him talking and giving advice. Hey, kid, don't get caught up in this. And then he leaves. If it's a cameo where he walks out of a room with a bunch of bodies dead and they don't show up, maybe. But if he's going to be considerably in the movie, if Frank Castles is considerably anywhere, he's killing. There are multiple people that are going to be unalived. There's a new term. And it's done in a artistic way. It's like, do I want to watch Jason Voorhees kill you off screen? No. I want to see him crush your head. What's the point? Part of part of what loving this version of the Punisher is the fact that he's just over the top violent. So I don't know. I it's gonna be interesting. He would throw will throw rocket launchers at Hulk until he eventually runs out, and them on the same screen. That's not something I'm looking for. Reoctopus. With their announcement that they're not going to be doing that many shows, I don't see this happening.
No, I disagree. I think the writing's on the wall for all the Netflix characters are coming back.
Okay.
Again, there's 3 out of 5 of them that are back now, and then along with all their supporting characters. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
just read the tea leaves.
Brad is smoking some leaves. Yeah, cool. We're in.
When we get the news of that Iron Fist and or Luke Cage.
Okay, hold on. If you, with all the stuff that they had on the drawing board that they were actually looking forward to that they've cut, if we get that while they're saying that they're dialing back, that's going to be a shock. Can anything happen? Sure. The likelihood of that happening, given what their stated mission is, the revised mission, I don't see it happening. Especially the way they treat some of their shows that they made after they changed their, Ironheart got fucked. I still haven't seen. They just left that the way they treated that show. They just left that on the side of the road. To here, you watch it if you want to. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Okay. Well, do we got anything else to cover tonight?
No, we're gonna wrestle these last two, and I'm gonna go eat. 54 people watching an impromptu stream at 2:45 in the morning.
Yeah, we had a pretty good turnout too last. Really, again, like as William pointed out, like in the overall Superman coverage lately.
I said my goodbyes to those viewers. I said a heartfelt farewell to that 125, 150 people.
Well, you can welcome them all back for East Ventura on Sunday.
And you guys are not coming back for that. But right now, 54 of you, 50 some odd of you in the middle of the night, in that like 2:00 in the morning, especially you guys that are in that they're not in the Pacific time zone. I am. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe. Let's see. Did we get any donations to the Sim William Comic Con and Style? Let's see. We are still at a rolling total of. We have not moved there. Let's check the other one. By the way, we had last night's show was great in that regard. So thank you guys. I don't mind watching shitty movies if you're supporting me. And we're still at the same. So if you want to help me eat in style, and help me so that we're not taking Robert Meyer Burnett to McDonald's. Hook me up. They are. They're starting to come. This is like a week before the movie, so I think they're going to have a huge. I think I could be wrong. I think Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom is in this movie. I think he's the real threat. And then So all right, guys, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, and we'll find something to talk about tomorrow. Figure it out. I found something to talk about this morning, so we can pull it out of our ass if we need to. Have a good night or morning.
See you guys.